guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is actually a video that we're making because one of my subscribers commented and suggested this video. So this is about safety tips while traveling, I guess. They didn't really expand on it. The actual question was what to do if you get hurt on the trail or on the road. What do you carry and what do you do? So
it's gonna be a good video. Stick around.
Yeah, stick around. My typical go-to med kit is this one. I will show you guys what this has. These are just things that I have accumulated over time. It's basically a simple med kit. It comes with the typical survival wrap, gauzes, and bandages. Like it has a triangle bandages right here, the triangular bandage, alcohol wipes, and roll bandages here. I just added like a tongue depressor. I added a couple of padded bandages, and the earplugs came in this kit, so I just left it there. A few gloves that came with the kit. I added small scissors and tweezers. Then I have paper tape and plastic tape that it came with, and I added this betadine solution as an antiseptic. But the most important thing is that when you are off-roading, it's really a good idea to wear the proper gear. So proper boots, proper pants, proper jacket, proper helmet, gloves, because it does make a big difference. He was in a serious accident. It wasn't off-roading, but it was a high-speed crash. The car crashed into him, basically sideswiped him on the freeway. He came out of it with super minimal scratches, right?
I fractured one thumb, wrist bone, tore a pectoralis muscle and bruised some ribs, but for 80-85 miles an hour onto hard pavement in the middle of rush hour traffic, that was pretty fantastic.
He was wearing full gear, and the gear, when I saw it, was wrecked. Really, it's important to wear the right gear when you're riding. Kyle has something like a good mnemonic to remember too.
Oh, well, if you are by yourself and you're crashed out in the woods and your bike's non-operable, there's a, what do you call it, mnemonic that, that I've been taught in the past, and it's please remember, sir, what's first. And the P of please stands for physical safety and position. So number one, whatever happened to you, make sure that you're safe. So if you're in the middle of the roadway, get out of the middle of the roadway. If you've crashed off the edge of a cliff, get back up over the cliff or get to a flat ground somewhere. If you're wrecked because you were out running a wildfire, get to somewhere that's safe. Whatever you have to do to ensure your physical safety, you need to do that right away to ensure that you're alive long enough to carry out the rest of the steps. And the second part of that P is position. Two parts to that actually. One is you need to know where you are. You should fairly know where you are. You should know what the last road name was, what the last city name was, something like that. You need to ascertain and hold your position as much as possible. There's been many stories, and it's a common mistake that people make where they'll only be a mile or two from civilization, but they get lost and they try to effect a self-rescue and they end up wandering around in the woods in a circle, in a 3-mile circle for the next 10 days while the search and rescue crews are trying to find them. So really it's personal safety, get to a safe place and then stay there for as long as possible. You have a better chance of being found if you're in one spot than if you are moving around.
Yeah.
That is if you can't immediately effect a personal rescue. Like dialing 911 or if you have it, activating your satellite beacon like we have. And then so again, is please remember, sir, what's first. So the R is rescue. You move on then. Can you effect a self-rescue? Can you pull your bike together? Can you repair it? Can you walk? Can you flag down another car? Can you activate your satellite beacon? Can you call 911? And if the answer to any of those is yes, you should do it. You should take that opportunity to do it before you get too tired, before you get too dehydrated, further injured, more blood loss, whatever. Effect that self-rescue if you possibly can. If you can't, then it's time to move on. And so that's where the S comes in, which is shelter. You need to have shelter, even if it is just a basic shelter, a little bit of a lean-to, your coat thrown up on a stick, a tarp, your tent put together, whatever you have to do. As soon as you realize that you cannot effect self-rescue, you have to find shelter, whether it's you making shelter, or whether it's you finding shelter in the form of a cave. Whatever you have to do, you'll die of exposure much faster than you'll die of dehydration or die of starvation. So shelter is critically important. And then the W is water. Again, once you have shelter, you need to find a source of water, whether it's a stream, whether it's a lake. If you're going to be out there for any significant period of time, as in more than 12 or 24 hours, you have to have water. And then the last one is food. A normal, healthy human can go anywhere from 2 weeks to a month without eating, and I know that sounds insane, but it's been tested and trialed. Many unfortunate circumstances in the past where people have gone 3 weeks without a single bite to eat, or longer. So really, food is a distant thought in a rescue situation.
A basic one that I would suggest that people carry is have a pair of scissors. A knife works too, like the, what do you call that, the foldable knife? Yeah, so either a knife or scissors, always have those. A tape is really useful. Duct tape works, you know. Your clothes can work, your socks can work as a bandage. You know, you can be very creative, but if you have room to bring stuff, I would bring the iodine, I would bring the antiseptic, because those are something that you can't really replace in the wild unless you're super herbalist kind of, oh, I know this leaf, or I know this fruit will do this. I don't know any of that.
I don't think.
Everything else, you know, you can
Tweezers, pull the splinters out, pull the thorn
yeah.
out. One thing to note is the betadine is great for initially disinfecting the wound. So if you've gotten stabbed by something, bit by something, cut by something, it's dirty. So the betadine, the iodine, it washes it out. It sterilizes it. Yeah, it's very strong. Putting on the Neosporin over that, and then putting, if appropriate, the bandage or the closure over that is better than just having any one of those components by themselves. So really, if you're putting together a med kit, I would suggest, you know, having the iodine and the little, even if it's just a little packet of Neosporin or whatever, they really work in tandem, and one doesn't really replace the other.
We have this at home, and I did bring it a few times motocamping, but I stopped bringing it because I was thinking, oh, by the way, if you guys don't know what this is, it's a tourniquet kit. It's basically, so if you need a tourniquet, you know, you can use that. I was thinking you can use, you know, other things as a tourniquet, so I didn't, because we do bring ropes, we do bring belt, so you can use those as tourniquet too. So if you're having some sort of bleeding that cannot be stopped, like I don't know, maybe you hurt yourself here and it's bleeding on your leg, and then you have to then you can wrap your belt there. You can wrap rope. Usually people who camp bring ropes, and to tie down the rain fly or to hang their food, whatever, there's usually a rope.
One thing that I was taught in the past that's really helpful to the doctors is if you do have a pen or a marker or something like that, if you can write on your forearm, on your hand, if you have someone else with you, it's best to write it on their forehead. Actually, you write a T and then the time that the tourniquet went on, because how they treat you when you get to the hospital, what medical treatment,
the urgency, and what kind of treatment needs to happen depending on how long that tourniquet's been on. So as you can see, the Sharpie has a roll of duct tape on it and a roll of electrical tape on it. So this whole thing, it doesn't go in the med kit, it goes in the toolkit. If you think something's broken, obviously do not move it unless you know what you're doing.
Well, you can end up causing more internal damage, or if it's a really particularly jagged break, you can sever something like an artery or a vein. Find
something to stabilize whatever is broken. The hard thing that's to envision is like somebody who's alone and then they broke their ankle. It's inside the boot.
Yeah,
because I don't know.
Hopefully it's your right foot so that it's the brake. Although I did read about a guy who broke his left foot and his left leg bone in the woods. And he had to ride out, and what he ended up doing was he had duct tape with him. So he found a stick and he duct taped a stick vertically to the shifter, a lightweight stick. So as he was going along, he could pull up or push down on the shifter. So you have to, at that point, you have to effect your own rescue as the part of the please remember, sir, what's first. At that point, either you rescue yourself or
you have a beacon, hopefully.
Yeah, I was gonna say at some point you really have to make the decision that this is beyond your skill level and you have to activate the beacon. But remember, activating the beacon is not like calling 911. The ambulance isn't going to show up 5 minutes later. I mean, it takes 5 minutes for the satellite to even receive the signal, for it to go to the U.S. Air Force, for them to process it and call the local sheriff. It can take hours, if not a day or more, if you're in Alaska in the middle of nowhere. So, but at least they're coming at that point. So hopefully you never have to use any of this, though I suspect at some point you'll probably have to use some of it. Everybody gets hurt in camp at some point. So.
Okay, it's time to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It was a response to a comment, so if you have ideas for future videos or you have a question you'd like to ask, please leave a comment. We read every single one of them. So.
And I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys learned something from it. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and ride safe, everybody. Bye.